I'm sorry. Thank you, Nabel. Appreciate that, bro. Here we go. Buffalo Bills versus Chicago Bears. We are balling out of control here. Opening day. We got to get hyped up. We got to get hyped up, Bills Mafia. Q&A. Get your comments, questions, concerns. I appreciate you, Jason. Nabel. Absolutely nuts. I had it muted. I was on the phone discussing this crazy weather going on here in East Aurora Orchard Park. Absolutely insane. But the Buffalo Bills versus Chicago Bears are dealing with a little bit weather of their own. You guys can see right now it feels like negative 17 degrees in Chicago. Currently 4 degrees out there. Absolutely crazy day for the Buffalo Bills to prevail in these crazy weather situations. This is a true test for Bills Mafia. Once again, the number one rushing attack in the NFL, the Chicago Bears, and Justin Fields, David Montgomery. How are the Chicago Bears going to do against the Buffalo Bills? We always discuss this. Crazy weather situations, high wind, heavy snow, a lot of precipitation, making the ball wet, affecting the passing game in the NFL, affecting the Buffalo Bills offense. What we do so well is passing that football, not so much running it. We really don't even run it that much. How are the Buffalo Bills going to do in this game today? And this is a perfect game for Bills Mafia to prove themselves, to showcase to the NFL what we are all about. That, yes, we can win in these crazy outside elements. Josh Allen can take care of that football. And here we are going to an away stadium in Chicago on a grass field with Justin Fields and the number one rushing attack in the NFL. Josh Allen, the Buffalo Bills, have a huge opportunity here to completely ball out of control and showcase their skills. And I really think it's going to boil down to the stats here. We're going to get into injury reports. We're going to get into stats. We're going to get into everything for this freaking matchup here. I hope everything is working on the live stream here. I am without internet here in Orchard Park. I do have a backup battery hooked up to the computer here too, so hopefully I don't lose power. And if I do, I should stay up. And I am using that Wi-Fi hotspot right now. So hopefully everything's coming in clear for you guys. Really appreciate everyone. I hope everyone has a beautiful Christmas holiday, Christmas Eve today. This is going to be a special day for freaking Bills Mafia. Absolutely crazy weather situations. And let's get right into it. The Buffalo Bills versus the Chicago Bears. Bills Mafia is said to have a 78% win chance at this game. The Bears, even being at home, only 22%. But where this game gets interesting are the stats. And you can first glance at this and see how the Bills stack up against the Bears. Obviously, Bills have the second best offense in the NFL, whereas the Bears have the 23rd, right? And you're going to see number one rushing, right? Bears have the number one rushing attack, but the 32nd passing attack. We're going to dive into this a little bit more and why this weather situation is really going to be a blessing in disguise for the Chicago Bears. And then just take a look at their defense, the 22nd overall defense. But how are the Bears? Yes, we say, okay, their offense has the number one rushing attack and the worst passing attack in the NFL. But the Chicago Bears, they have the 22nd overall defense. But how are they against the pass? How is that defense against the run? And we're going to dive right into that. We can see the Buffalo Bills are balling out of control today. And one area the Bears have actually done better than the Bills so far this season is our passing defense. So you can see the Bills have the 8th best defense in the NFL. But statistically, we're going to take a look really quick here. Statistically, per defensive stats on NFL.com, the Buffalo Bills have statistically given up more passing yards than the Chicago Bears. And you can see here the Bears have given up the 18th most passing yards in the NFL this season, whereas the Bills have given up the 15th most passing yards on defense this season, which is kind of crazy to think about, right? And I know there are a lot of situations here with the Bills, obviously missing Trey White, missing Jordan Poyer, right? We're undefeated, 10 of 10 with Jordan Poyer on the Buffalo Bills. Micah Hyde going down, Christian Benford going down, Kyer Elam going down. So this Buffalo Bills passing defense really has done statistically worse than the Chicago Bears, but we've gotten better as the season has progressed. And the huge addition of Trey White being here is absolutely dynamic for Bills Mafia. But guys, comments, questions, concerns, Trick says he's frozen. I'm frozen too. It is cold. It is freezing cold out here. I'm about 2 miles from the stadium, right down the road from the stadium. It is absolutely, absolutely insane. We're diving into the stats here. Buffalo Bills, Q&A, Bills versus Bears. Baby, it just rolls off your tongue. This is going to be a game, that Rust Belt. It's going to be a battle, baby. It's going to be a battle. And don't forget when Mitch Trubisky and the Chicago Bears came to Buffalo and beat us, man. This is our redemption game. This is our redemption tour for the Buffalo Bills to take care of business here. Let's get back into some of these stats. And as I was already mentioning, we can see the Chicago Bears have given up fewer passing yards on defense on the Buffalo Bills. But what about rushing? When we filter by the rushing stats, we can see how many rushing yards the Bills have given up compared to the Bears. You can see the Bears are right here. 2014 rushing yards they have given up on defense. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They are the 6th worst defense in the NFL at stopping the run. So far, we've already figured out that the Bears so far this season have been better against the pass defensively than the Buffalo Bills, but clearly not against stopping the run. The 6th worst against stopping the run. Buffalo Bills and Bills Mafia has huge opportunity today to really run the football. And we want to run the football in this weather. Heavy winds, high winds, absolutely crazy. 4 degrees out there. Feels like negative 17, 19-mile-an-hour winds. And on all my previous videos, we have discussed this countless times, how wind affects these games. It's detrimental, absolutely detrimental. And I don't think Josh Allen and the Bills have played in such a windy, cold game before. This is going to be absolutely crazy. So again, Bears, 2014 rushing yards they have given up this season. And scrolling all the way down here, the Buffalo Bills have only given up 1,486. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They're 6th best in the NFL at stopping the run on defense, where the Chicago Bears are the 6th worst. That's why guys like Devin Singletary, James Cook will need to dominate this freaking game. And yes, Trick brings up my next point and what we're going to get into here as to why the Chicago Bears have the #1 rushing attack in the NFL. And we're going to get into this. You guys could see rushing the football. Chicago Bears, clearly the #1 rushing attack in the NFL, which on paper statistically seems super dynamic. 2,616 rushing yards this season, doing absolutely crazy. But another thing we need to filter by are rushing touchdowns, right? Look at the Bears rushing touchdowns, only 17 rushing touchdowns this season. The Buffalo Bills have 12 rushing touchdowns this season, but you can see a team like the Philadelphia Eagles, 30 rushing touchdowns, Cowboys, 22 rushing touchdowns. I mean, that is absolutely, absolutely crazy, right? So that said, they are still doing great rushing the football, and Trick brings up my next point here as to why. Why are they doing such a great job running the football? And it really boils down to Justin Fields. Justin Fields is completely balling out this year, guys. He is completely going crazy. We could see that rushing the football. We're going to take a look. I just want to filter by the rushing totals. As a quarterback, Justin Fields is completely dominating this freaking game. Let's see here. Justin Fields, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. He's the 8th leading rusher in the NFL. Justin Fields is the 8th leading rusher in the NFL. Let that freaking sink in. I mean, that is absolutely crazy. And it goes beyond Justin Fields' running ability. It's that defenses now have to account for Justin Fields. And we know what that does to defenses. It takes a man away from the defense, and it opens up running lanes for David Montgomery and their other running backs. The Chicago Bears have the #1 rushing attack in the NFL. In this crazy negative 17-degree feel-like temperature, 20-mile-an-hour winds, Everything is suited for the Chicago Bears to win this game. In Chicago, on their turf, on their grass field, the Chicago Bears have everything aligned to win this game. And that's why this game is so big time for the Buffalo Bills to prevail in these crazy weather situations, to prove once again that the Buffalo Bills can punch the Chicago Bears right in their mouth, beat them at their own game. The number one rushing attack in the NFL, the 8th best leading rusher in the NFL with Justin Fields. He is completely balling out of control. And then you can see David Montgomery is doing pretty well as well. 694 rushing yards, 5 touchdowns this year. I mean, pretty dynamic. And we could see Buffalo Bills, just to give a comparison, right? Josh Allen, 705 rushing yards this season, 6 rushing touchdowns. Devin Singletary has 684 rushing yards and 4 touchdowns, whereas Justin Fields, right, 1,000 rushing yards, 8 rushing touchdowns. David Montgomery, 694 rushing yards and 5 passing touchdowns. I mean, dynamic, absolutely dynamic. The Chicago Bears have a dynamic rushing attack in this game. So knowing that and understanding that, Bills Mafia, we really have to digest this game. We got to digest this game, and we have to take a look at the Buffalo Bills injuries. We know that Justin Fields' arm is not good enough to shred the ball around, pass the ball around, and beat the Buffalo Bills, especially with the upgrades of Trey White and everyone on this team. It's just not going to happen. And the weather and the high winds, Justin Fields is not going to be able to do it. We know that they're going to come out and run the football, which ultimately helps our defense as well. We could stack the box. We can play to the run, right? And the big thing that's hurting the Chicago Bears in this game are the injuries. And Chicago Bears, they just released an awesome article this morning on their injuries and how the injuries are going to impact this game. So I want to review this with everyone here just to give us more of an insight to this game. Bears impacted by injuries in 2 key spots. We're going to see here. Okay, left guard Cody Whitehair knee and right guard Tevin Jenkins neck are both listed as doubtful with injuries that prevent them from practicing on Wednesday and Thursday. Both were hurt during their last game against the Eagles. Now, Michael Schofield is going to be starting in place of Jenkins at right guard. So we have a backup at right guard. But he is an 8-year veteran. He's appeared in 10 games with 4 starts this season. So one other possible replacement at left guard is Larry Borum, who has played exclusively at left and right tackles in the 2 seasons with the Bears. So he's going to be at a very odd position for them, playing that backup left guard position. This is a huge advantage, especially in the game when we know the Chicago Bears need to run the ball, really need to take the Buffalo Bills offense off the field. 20-mile-an-hour winds, -17 degrees, and you have backups at left guard and right guard. So this is a huge loss. Obviously, when you're potentially losing 2 starters on the inside of your line, that's a big thing. That's something that we've looked at all week. Schofield will be in there if one of them can't go. And if the second guy can't go, we'll see what happens. This is a huge loss for the Chicago Bears. It's a very uncomfortable situation for them to be in. They are also very thin at wide receiver. Darnell Mooney, a dynamic wide receiver for the Chicago Bears, has been out for the season with an ankle injury. And St. Brown, another dynamic wide receiver, 6'5", 6'6" wide receiver for the Chicago Bears, looks to be ruled out for this game. And we all know that's the Bills' kryptonite. Those 50-50 jump balls, those high, tall, physical wide receivers going up after that ball, skyscraping wide receivers getting the football. I mean, that's anyone's kryptonite, to be honest. So he is out. Chase Claypool is doubtful for this game. He is 6'4", too. So both of their perimeter, tall, skyscraping wide receivers are doubtful and out for this game. Knee injury prevented him to play versus the Eagles. So breaking down the losses here, right? I think that's always the case. You always want to see what they can do. You always want to see their skill sets. You want to be able to evaluate those things. And when players are out, you don't get to do that. it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting to see the depth of the Chicago Bears. We gotta see. You know, they're trying to make moves. They're trying to make moves. The worst passing attack in the NFL. They bring in Chase Claypool. N'Keal Harry is another tall wide receiver there for them that missed last Sunday's game, but he is expected to go for this game. So, but you know, N'Keal Harry with the Patriots and all those other teams really hasn't done much so far in the NFL. But this article does such a great job breaking things down. Absolutely love it. But what's more important here is digesting the injury report and taking a look at the Chicago Bears roster compared to the Bills roster and seeing the players that are actually out. Now, it's easy to say, okay, Chase Claypool and St. Brown and their right guard, left guard are doubtful, but I like seeing it on their depth chart just to really see how the Buffalo Bills match up. So we discussed it. Okay, Cody Whitehair and Tevin Jenkins, left guard, right guard, both being out for the Chicago Bears. That's huge. That's absolutely huge. But how are the Buffalo Bills going to benefit? And you can see that, unfortunately, for this game, we have some guys, especially in the interior of our defensive line, being questionable for this game. And Ed Oliver, questionable, right? Jordan Phillips, questionable. And also on the perimeter, we all remember Von Miller being placed on IR, season-ending injury with Von Miller. But A.J. Epinesa has been ruled out. Boogie Basham has been ruled out. Christian Benford, Micah Hyde, right? These guys are all out for the Bills. It's just tough. It's very, very tough for the Bills. So knowing that Chicago has their left guard out, their right guard out, Bills having Jordan Phillips out, Ed Oliver out, it really helps. It really helps. Those guards being out really helps the Buffalo Bills. And I don't know how imperative it is to put Ed Oliver and Jordan Phillips out there. Why prolong any injury that Ed Oliver has or Jordan Phillips has against the Chicago Bears, a team that we should be able to dominate with DaQuan Jones, Tim Settle, with our backups, Even Shaq Lawson, I think, can play in the interior a little bit instead of just defensive end. So that's huge. It's absolutely huge for the Bills. And I just wanted to show you, too, the length, the actual length and size, right? Chase Claypool, 6'4", 238 pounds, a wide receiver that can run block as well. These guys are dominant run blockers. Quinius St. Brown, 6'5", 214 pounds. Both these guys out for the Buffalo Bills against the Buffalo Bills. Absolutely, absolutely huge. Now, one guy that we need to discuss here that's kind of a sleeper on this team is actually their tight end, Cole Kmet. This dude is huge, 6'6", 260 pounds, and he's fast. He's sneakishly fast. Like, this is going to be Tremaine Edmonds' matchup of the season right here. I got to see Tremaine Edmonds matched up on Cole Kmet. I want to see Matt Milano matched up on a 6'6", 260-pound Cole Kmet. What makes these guys so dangerous here is also their ability to block, right? Like Mark Andrews of the Baltimore Ravens. You know, he's not the fastest, right? He's not the best route runner in the NFL, but he keeps defenses honest with his ability to block, right? You go out blocking. You block up those delayed routes where you block first and then you go out for a pass. You know, it's tough. It's tough when you're not an effective blocker to sell the delayed route and the blocking, right? Especially if that dude that you're trying to block could just blow you right off the football. Because if you go and you had that delayed route and you go to initially block first and that dude knocks you on your ass, I mean, you're not going to be going out for a route. Am I right? So it really takes blocking to be effective. And Cole Kmet is a great blocker. He's got enough speed to beat you. This is going to be a huge matchup for Tremaine Edmonds. Yes, we play a lot of zone. I know we don't play a lot of man, but when these players cross into our zone, we play man. We match up to them. Like we depend on our pass rush to get to the quarterback within a certain amount of time. We know players that are in our zone. As soon as they're in our zone, we're locking on them like we're in man-to-man coverage. So, yes, the initial call is zone, but still, As that play breaks down, you know we got to match up. It's going to take those matchup situations. Cole Kmet versus Tremaine Edmonds. That's going to be huge. That's going to be absolutely huge. Byron Pringle. Byron Pringle, he's fast. He's shifty. He's not the fastest wide receiver in the world. I would say he's just as fast as Isaiah McKenzie. So, Isaiah McKenzie is fast. Don't get me wrong, but still. And the other sleepers too, Khalil Herbert, backup running back, is doing absolutely excellent for the Chicago Bears. Again, the number one rushing attack in the NFL, the Chicago Bears. Justin Fields, the 8th leading rusher in the NFL at the quarterback position, 1,000 rushing yards. They got David Montgomery. They got Khalil Herbert. Absolutely crazy here for the Buffalo Bills. And really, I have a philosophy for this game. Buffalo Bills versus the Chicago Bears. Just like what the Patriots did against the Buffalo Bills and Mac Jones, they knew Mac Jones was not capable of throwing the football through that high wind, through the snow here in Buffalo. Therefore, they really handed the ball off to the Buffalo Bills repetitively. Only three passes against the Bills. Now, where this changes is that Josh Allen isn't Mac Jones. Josh Allen has the arm power. He's got the arm strength. He's got the big hands. He's got the running ability. Putting the ball in Josh Allen's hands gives us really the best chance at winning the game, especially when you consider the Bills really haven't run the football this year. We haven't done a lot of running the football, and we haven't been too effective running the football. So, one, I think, do the Bills really use this as maybe a practice game, although the AFC home field advantage is on the line for the playoffs, and if we lose, it could really hurt our chances. Maybe we lose again and the Chiefs come away with home field advantage again. So do the Bills change up? And Ken Dorsey said it this week before the game last week, is that he had two different game plans heading in to the Miami Dolphins game. One game plan if the weather got bad, and another game plan if the weather wasn't too bad. So what is the changeup? What would the changeup actually be? There are some changes going on there, but still, I think the Bills ultimately want to keep the ball in Josh Allen's hands, although I do think the Bills would definitely try to run the ball a little bit more. But guys, comments, questions, concerns in the chat. We got Mr. Zero, we got Nabel, we got Trick. We balling out here, Bills Mafia. Absolutely crazy. Playoffs are right around the corner. Cannot wait. Cannot wait for this matchup. Let's hop over to Twitter and see if we have any crazy news, any pictures. We got our guys, superhero Josh Allen balling out of control here. I think Josh Allen could very well take over this game regardless of the wind. It's a great staple game for Bills Mafia to prove themselves once again in poor weather situations, going against the number one rushing attack in the NFL. What more do we need? What more do we need? And you can see here, hope everyone hits me up on Twitter. Make sure you guys check out our Twitter. It's Bills News Council on Twitter, Bills News Consolidated. You can see here my tweet this morning, 3 hours ago, the Bears' best rushing attack in the NFL versus the Buffalo Bills in freezing temperatures. You can add high winds to that too. Just another day for a squad to prove we can win no matter what the outside elements are. Maybe Josh Allen only passes it 3 times today. Who knows? Maybe the Buffalo Bills just come out and slug the Bears right in their mouth and ball out. Again, the Bills are 6th best in the NFL at stopping the run defensively. The Chicago Bears are the 6th worst at stopping the run. Bills Mafia should dominate. We should dominate today. Absolutely dominate today. See if we have any news. Chris Brown, any injury reports. See, everyone's going crazy. Everyone's going crazy. Nyheim Hines dancing. Got his first touchdown last week. I think Nyheim Hines is going to be good to go. Cole Beasley is going to be good to go for this game. Got to get involved. And just like Brandon Beane said, the Cole Beasley, after he signed Cole Beasley, what did Brandon Beane say? The extension of the run game. Those short screens, those short, high percentage, completion percentage throws, right? High percentage throws is an extension of the run game. Throwing the ball deep, throwing the ball in the middle of the field, it's tough, especially in high wind. But throwing little dunk-offs and little screens, something that the New England Patriots were so good at, beating the Buffalo Bills for freaking 20 years. We saw it with Julian Edelman, with Wes Welker, and all those little scat back running backs that they had. The Buffalo Bills have James Cook. We got Nyheim Hines. We have Cole Beasley. We got John Brown, even Isaiah McKenzie. We have the Smurfs back. The Smurfs are back here in Buffalo to get those high completion percentage, to get reliable targets, especially on third down. It has been a huge, huge disaster for the Bills this season is third down and fourth down. One, because we haven't had a lot of attempts on third down or fourth down. I think even our team, our offense, we just haven't had the experience on third down and fourth down to overcome the obstacles because we're so explosive on offense. We're skipping third downs and fourth downs. So it's a rare event that we're even on third down or fourth down. And then when we are only completing 48% of those plays, which is horrible, which is really horrible. Crazy. Chevy says we should win this game 40-17. I like it. I like it. You know, I'm really thinking it's going to be a lower scoring game, but I don't think the Bears are going to score a lot. You know, Justin Jefferson makes me worried. He's sneakishly physical and he's very fast. I mean, when he has the ball in his hands, he's just as dynamic as Josh Allen. He's just as dynamic as Lamar Jackson. You know, they're slightly little different skill sets. Like Josh Allen can stiff arm you, will lower his shoulder right into the ground. Justin Fields will lower his shoulder. He'll stiff arm you. Maybe not as strong as Josh Allen, but I would say Justin Fields' top end speed is definitely faster than Josh Allen. And it just goes to show you how dynamic Justin Fields is. 1,000 yards rushing this season, 8th best rusher in the NFL. I know 32nd passing attack in the NFL, but still, do you even need to pass the ball in this type of weather? So it's dangerous. It's definitely a dangerous game for Bills Mafia, but I believe this is the staple game. This is the game that the Bills are going to come out, punch the Bears right in their mouth, beat them at their own game, and prove to the NFL, look, if you want to do what the Patriots did to us last year and only try to pass the ball 3 times, this is exactly what's going to happen to you. Okay, so I really am liking this. I'm not saying the Bills use this game as practice, but, you know, just like last year, after we lost that game, after Sean McDermott took that L to the Patriots, after only getting passed on 3 times, Sean McDermott flat out said, like, stopping the run, and it's an attitude, right? It's almost a personality that you have to define before the season even starts, right? In training camp, it's this grit, and that's what it is. It's perseverance. It's sacrifice. It's feeling the pain on the play to stop the run. You know, if you play football too, playing out in this cold, you get a helmet that nicks your knuckle. I mean, everything hurts that much more. And this game is going to show heart. It's going to show the players that actually want to be out there. And I'm absolutely loving it. I'm loving it. I think the Bills have the bigger hearts. The Bills players on this team have the bigger freaking will to win. You go to the games, they are like heat-seeking freaking missiles out there. Taron Johnson, everybody, Matt Milano, Tremaine Edmonds. This defense is absolutely insane. The way they pursue the football, the way they sacrifice and put their bodies on the line on a play-to-play basis. There are no players taking any plays off on any play. It is insane. It is absolutely insane to watch. And I don't know. I really think we're going to be able to overwhelm Justin Fields. Interceptions. Justin Fields is not going to be able to pass the ball on us at all today. Mr. Zero says the last few games have been solid. No high scores, but steady and above all confident. Hopefully James Cook can have the chance to shine. And, you know, what was the complaint last year from Bills Mafia? We couldn't win close games. Every close game, the Buffalo Bills lost. Whether we thought it was nerves, whether Josh Allen, we couldn't overcome those close games. And what is happening this year? We're finding a way to win. We're winning the close games, which is more important than just blowing teams out. Finding a way to win, going through the trials and tribulations of the game. The momentum swings throughout the game. Yes, we can do better. The drops have been horrible. The turnovers have been horrible this year. And those are all correctable situations. It's not that our players aren't good enough. It's not that we're not fast enough. It's not that we're not strong enough or that we can't stop the run on defense, because we've proved that we can do everything this year. We proved that we have the talent and to do everything this year. It's about fixing the coachable deficiencies of our players once again. And that's the character and DNA of each and every single player that we bring in here via the draft, via free agency. We trust our coaches. We believe in ourselves that we can get the best out of each and every single individual here, from the janitors to the people shoveling snow on that freaking stadium, to Brandon Beane, to everyone at One Bills Drive. They are expected to be the best versions of themselves. And they all have coachable deficiencies. No one's perfect. No one is perfect. We all have things that we can work on, but it's not because, they can't see the field, right? They're not tall enough. You can't see the field. They don't have big enough hands to hold on to that frozen football in Chicago like Josh Allen, right? Those are not coachable deficiencies. Those are God-given traits. And Josh Allen, these Buffalo Bills, all of the coachable deficiencies that we have are all coachable. They're all fixable. The drops, fixable. The scheme or whatever you want to complain about on offense, fixable. Not running the ball enough, fixable. You just run it more. I really believe in this year's Buffalo Bills. The 2022 Buffalo Bills define the city of Buffalo, define us. Being here for 34 years, blue-collar Buffalo, going through a 17-year playoff drought, being the laughing stock of the NFL. Every year, ESPN, NFL Network saying, the Buffalo Bills missed the playoffs again. And everyone's saying that we are the laughing stocks. 4 straight Super Bowl losses, right? The Music City Miracle, the no goal with the Sabres. All of this baggage that the Buffalo Bills have been dealing with and the Buffalo fan base has been dealing with. Everything that we have been through, the snow this season, the weather last year has trickled into this year, the Miami Heat to the Chicago negative 17 degree temps. The Buffalo Bills have a huge opportunity here to showcase their skills. And this is the roadmap to the Super Bowl, and why I believe the Buffalo Bills will win the Super Bowl. Wholeheartedly believe the Buffalo Bills are going to win this Super Bowl is because of what this season has taught us. It is literally compiled the last 17, 20 years, all the pain, everything that we have been through, from weather to the refs screwing us to everything. It has literally lumped it all into one season. Injuries, right? This fits us. Overcoming obstacles. This season defines the 2022 Buffalo Bills. It defines the city of Buffalo and why I believe the Bills are going to win the Super Bowl. When it comes down to the playoffs, when we're going to be going against great teams this year in the playoffs, we're going to look back and reflect upon all these games that were close, that we had to bite our nails to grit out wins, not because of skill, not because of anything else, but our hearts, our will, our want to play in negative 17 degree weather, our want to play in the rain, our want to be here in Buffalo to bring a Super Bowl to this city that we so freaking deserve. Best fans in the world, Bills Mafia. We have to do it. We got a fan here from Korea. Absolutely amazing. We're all over the world. I was speaking with people from Mexico, Brazil last week, Germany too. Someone reached out. We are all over the world, Bills Mafia, and that's what makes this sport so special. The NFL is such a special thing. It's such a special place, and I really think Bills Mafia, we win the Super Bowl, we could really teach the world a lesson, how we're neighborly, how coming together can solve all the world's problems, man. Bills Mafia, we need this W. We need this W. And I really think this season has taught us the most. It's taught us how to win the close games. Look what happened. 13 seconds last year. We knew it. I had a feeling, right? Last year, all the close games that we lost, all the games that we won were by 2 or more possessions, 2 or more scores. But the close games we lost, right? And then ultimately came down to 13 seconds last year. And Brandon Beane always says this, that last game of the year really shows your deficiencies of the season. And it was hard to see. And I'm not really understanding last year's deficiencies until now. And it was that grit. It was finding a way to win. That's what we were missing. That's why we brought in Von Miller, that cherry on top. Von Miller was just that sprinkle on the ice cream. He was going to get us over those hurdles. But now Bills are complaining. Bills fans are complaining that we're not beating teams by a lot. We're not dominating. We're hardly winning. But in my mind, that is more important. Because if we get into another game with the Kansas City Chiefs and there are 13 seconds left in the game, the Bills last year would have lost, right? The Bills of last year would have lost. And the Bills of last year will lose again. But this year, the way we're finding a way to win, the way we're gritting out teams, the way we're showcasing our hearts, our Buffalo hearts out there, man, we have not forgotten about 13 seconds. And I for some reason, I feel like every time media brings up 13 seconds and the Bills players say, oh, that was last year and we're kind of moved on from that. I don't know. I think subconsciously, every time they're walking out on that football field, home or away, the Buffalo Bills are being reminded of that 13 seconds. And I love it. And I really believe the Bills are going to win the Super Bowl this year simply because of how this season has been. The weather situations, the injuries, all the obstacles that we have overcome. And Sean McDermott said this years ago, but a quote, another bombshell of a quote from Sean McDermott: there's no easy path to success. And if there was, when you get there, during those pinnacle moments, when you're tested, when you're tried, how are you going to survive without being tested, without experience, right? And I think the Bills Mafia and Buffalo Bills, from the fans to the players to everyone at One Bills Drive, we have experienced some craziness that we've had to overcome this year. And I think this is it. I really think this is it. We're going to win the freaking Super Bowl. Jamal says Josh was taking the easy plays instead of forcing it. Hey, high percentage completion percentage really boils down to a lot. Right? It boils down to the offensive coordinator scheming up good plays, scheming up players being wide open. And it also boils down to the players that you have, right? And I think the Bills were definitely missing that shifty route runner wide receiver. And again, going back to the injuries, Jamison Crowder, Isaiah McKenzie, they were going to split roles this year. They were going to split that slot position. And their skill sets are different. I think, even Cole Beasley and Isaiah McKenzie's skill sets are different. McKenzie runs those drag routes, those long routes that he can utilize his speed to run away from defenders. When you're fast, you can run away from defenders. Cole Beasley versus Isaiah McKenzie in a 40-yard dash right now, McKenzie would blow Cole Beasley out of the water. But when you look at Cole Beasley and his shiftiness, his short little pattern, his short little steps, right? His ability to mix and cross players up like a basketball player, right? That's what makes Cole Beasley effective. Different skill set, different ability to create space to make an easy throw, high percentage completion pass for Josh Allen, and defenses knowing that Isaiah McKenzie really wasn't good at being shifty, really wasn't good at being a Cole Beasley. Defenses knowing that we lost Jamison Crowder. We didn't have that player. Jamison Crowder, I think, was going to be that shiftier guy for the Bills. Isaiah McKenzie was going to still be that drag type player, and they were going to split that role. So if a team was playing us, or if we were matched up against a slower slot cornerback, Isaiah McKenzie. But if we were matched up against a shiftier, or a more physical type, maybe Cole or Jamison Crowder, right? So absolutely crazy. Patrick says, damn it, this weather has me concerned. Dudes are going to be getting frostbite. Hey, I've been saying it all week. We need a fishbowl full of hot hands, and Josh Allen can put his feet in it. And I'm saying one fishbowl for his right foot and another fishbowl for his left foot. And also the football. Guys, this weather, just to keep checking, we keep popping over to the weather report just to show you that football freezes too. The pigskin freezes, man. It gets cold. It turns to ice. So I really think the Bills, here's the weather. Right now, feels like negative 17 degrees in Chicago. So crazy. It's going to warm up a little bit as the day moves along. Looks like it's only 6 degrees technically outside this afternoon at 1 o'clock when the game starts. It's actually 12 o'clock there when the game starts. They're an hour behind. But This afternoon, it's going to go up to 12 degrees, but still, we're looking at 0-degree temperatures during the game, negative-degree temperatures during the game. That ball is going to be frozen. It is going to be insane. The Chicago Bears have the #1 rushing attack in the NFL. How are the Buffalo Bills going to stack up? This is a perfect staple game. This is a perfect staple game for the Bills to come out to beat the Chicago Bears at their very own game, punch them in their mouth, baby. Punch them in their mouth, run the football, prove to the entire league that the Buffalo Bills can officially run the football and stop the run in 2022 in bad weather situations, right? Let's go. Yeah, we're going to have some losses. Devin Singletary could very well leave at the end of this year. He's in a contract year. Tremaine Edmonds still has not signed a long-term deal. Jordan Poyer as well is in a contract year. We got some big staple foundational players for the Buffalo Bills that might not be here for our future, right? And it's definitely scary. It's definitely scary. And that's another point that makes these games and these times so special. 10 years from now, we're going to look back at these moments, and it's so easy to be caught up in your current time, right? Or it's so easy to reflect back, but to look forward and then look back, to go 10 years down the line, 20 years down the line when Josh Allen might not be in the NFL anymore. How special are these moments going to be? Each and every single of these games, watching Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills, how fortunate we are to be here in this situation. And I really think the Bills, we're going to bring it home. We're going to bring this freaking Super Bowl home, baby. This is our year. This is our year. Patrick says, got to get the run game going. Got to get it on track. Nyheim Hines and James Cook. Could not agree more. I like it. I like it. And, I've been saying maybe we use this as a practice game to try and run the ball more. Maybe the Buffalo Bills and Josh Allen just prove to the world that they could still pass it. Josh Allen slanging that ball, utilizing Cole Beasley, Isaiah McKenzie, and those short route trees. I like it too. And my formation here, man, if I was a Bills offensive coordinator, my idea here would be to get the best, most explosive players on the field at all times, every single play. And to me, that would be a trips wide receiver set with Dawson Knox. And then, to be honest, I'm putting James Cook out there. That's the best running back to me. I think James Cook presents us the biggest ability to score on any given play. You get the ball in James Cook's hands, he could take it to the house any given play. Now, short yardage situations, Devin Singletary, maybe that would make more sense. But every single play, I'm out there, I'm rolling out Gabe Davis, I'm rolling out Stephon Diggs, and I'm rolling out Isaiah McKenzie, Dawson Knox, and James Cook and Josh Allen. And from there, you just design different plays. I mean, you have an entire route tree that you can run with Diggs, Gabe Davis, Isaiah McKenzie, and you can just mix and match. And Dawson Knox being able to body guys out. I mean, guys, this offense should be unstoppable, and we've proved it before. We have scored every single time the Buffalo Bills have gotten the ball. We did it last year. And, why even run the football? And I get it. Like, okay, like why even bother running the football when you can just pass it 100% of the time, right? Kind of interesting. I've always been one to want to run the football, to be more balanced of an offense. The longevity of Josh Allen, the wear and tear on Josh Allen's arm, bad weather situations, high wind, snow, high precipitation weather. It affects the games. And statistically, it's proven to affect the games. One thing that the stats are missing when it comes down to precipitation, when the ball gets wet, weather, like rain during the game, you have to look at a game. And they say this is that when you're looking at a game, you don't know whether the game rained all game long, if it was scattered showers, if it rained in the fourth quarter or just snowed in the fourth quarter like the Buffalo Bills. When you reflect back on games, they just say, hey, look, okay, this game, it snowed. Like last game, they're going to say it snowed during the Buffalo Bills game, but technically it only snowed during the fourth quarter. So when you're taking the statistics of that game and seeing how it affected the total points scored, the total yardage, passing yards, rushing yards, when they're accumulating these stats, they're saying, okay, well, the Buffalo versus Miami game was a snow game, but it only snowed in the fourth quarter. So you're lumping these stats that are a little bit skewed, right? The precipitation of those games might not have occurred all game long. Therefore, my belief is the stats are much worse. Precipitation and weather affects games much, much worse than what the stats are actually revealing, because precipitation doesn't always happen all game long. And it's already proved that it does affect the game, right? So I really, really believe high wind all throughout the game, heavy snow all throughout the game, high precipitation all throughout the game would affect the game more than just maybe a 1/4 rain, 2/4 rain. Am I right? So crazy. Mr. Zero says, is that negative 17? Or wow, that's almost negative 40 Celsius. If it is Arctic conditions, crazy. It's crazy. I'm right here 2 miles from the stadium. My heater has literally been running 24/7. I got the heat on, 69, 68 degrees. Not getting much hotter than that. So it's cold. It's cold. My feet are numb right now. It's definitely cold out there. Nabel says, no way. I would love to see Jordan here in Buffalo. Please pay him. And that's tough loss if we don't get to pay him his bag. I know we talk about the free agency here, and the one saving grace for the Buffalo Bills is the franchise tag. If a Bills player is unwilling to re-sign with us because they want more money, we could always utilize the franchise tag, which means if we franchise tag a player, they're getting an average of the top 5 salaries at that position. A player like Jordan Poyer made the Pro Bowl this year, should have made the Pro Bowl the past several years. Knowing how dynamic a player Jordan Poyer is, and knowing that Jordan Poyer is kind of getting up in age, we don't know how much longer Jordan Poyer is going to be able to sustain the success. I've broken it down in previous videos. Different positions have different sustainability in the NFL. DBs, after so long, they start falling apart. So Jordan Poyer, to me, would be an ideal candidate for a franchise tag because he is playing up to the caliber of a top 5. I mean, Jordan Poyer, arguably the best safety in the NFL. So to pay him an average of the top 5 salaries makes sense. If Jordan Poyer gets to the situation where he's like, hey, look, I'm the best safety in the NFL, or I'm the top 5 safety in the NFL. My contract is up. You should really make me the highest paid safety in the NFL. Jordan Poyer is like, hey, look, I want to be the highest paid safety in the NFL. And the Bills are like, we can't do that. We can't do that with the cap. And Jordan Poyer is like, I'm going to go to free agency. I'm going to sign elsewhere. Bam. You franchise tag them. You sign them. You give them an average of the top 5 salaries in the NFL. Yes, Poyer might be upset. Maybe Poyer holds out, but I don't think that's in Poyer's character. I don't think that Poyer would definitely be holding out for the Bills. To me, looking at Tremaine Edmunds, okay? Tremaine Edmunds in a contract year. Devin Singletary in a contract year. Is Devin Singletary worthy of a franchise tag? Is Devin Singletary worthy of paying an average of the top 5 salaries at his position? And unfortunately, I'm going to say no. Devin Singletary is not worthy of an average of the top 5 salaries at the running back position. Yes, running backs have gotten a great price over the years, and running backs have not really had too much of a bidding war in free agency, but Devin Singletary, I think, is ultimately going to re-sign with the Buffalo Bills. Being from Florida, he probably wants to go to a warmer team, but looking at free agency this offseason, there are a ton of running backs hitting free agency, and, the competition there. The competition there, I think, is going to hurt Devin Singletary's value just because there's just so many other running backs to pick from. Now, Tremaine Edmunds is where it comes in interesting. Tremaine Edmunds, does he walk? I believe the quarterback of our defense, in 23 years old, Tremaine Edmunds, is going to get a long-term contract for the Bills. Can't imagine the Buffalo Bills not re-signing Edmunds to a long-term deal. We were kind of waiting to see more from Edmunds, especially in his passing coverage, and he's balled out. Edmunds looks faster this year. He looks more dynamic against the pass, being able to just cover the receivers, tight ends, the running backs that cross his face. He's doing such a great job this year, and we were kind of waiting for Edmunds to take that extra leap, take that extra step, to make more game-changing plays, turn the ball over during the game, right? To do these things, and
Tremaine Edmonds has definitely stepped up. He's definitely stepped up. Now, the expectation, my expectation is just to be the best in the NFL, right? So we're still waiting for Edmonds to prove himself to be a legitimate guy in contention, in talks to being the best middle linebacker in the NFL. Can't say that right now. Can't say that with Edmonds. There are definitely clearly other better middle linebackers in the NFL, but he's nipping. He's nipping at their heels, and he's 23 years old. He's a skyscraping 6'5" sequoia tree in the middle of our defense. I mean, Tremaine Edmonds' ceiling is much higher than any other middle linebacker in the NFL. So he's capable. Edmonds is capable of being the best linebacker in the NFL. Don't get me wrong. But still, and there's still the season to go. He's still got games to go. He's got the playoffs to go. Tremaine Edmonds is getting better and better as the season progresses. But to make him a franchise tag, right? It's going to go one of two ways. If we re-sign Poyer, we could very well franchise tag Tremaine Edmonds. If Poyer wants more money at free agency, maybe we sign Tremaine Edmonds to a long-term deal and then tag Jordan Poyer. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be really, really interesting. Patrick says, I think we got to get Poyer for 2 more seasons. We see what it's like not having Hyde and Poyer on the back end. It's been not pretty. So true. So true. We have not won a game. Not won a game without Poyer. I mean, and think about it. It's not a coincidence the Buffalo Bills broke the playoff drought as soon as Micah Hyde and Jordan Poyer came here, right? Yes, Sean McDermott came here, Leslie Frazier, the year 1 of the McDermott era, right? But I really believe the 2 foundational players on the back end of this Buffalo Bills defense were the reason why the Buffalo Bills beat the playoffs, beat the playoff drought. Right? We broke the playoff drought because of Jordan Poyer, because of Micah Hyde. We had a top 5 defense that year. We had Tyrod Taylor to take care of that football. Didn't throw any interceptions. Didn't turn the ball over at all. We relied on that defense year 1. Kyle Williams, right? We relied on that great defense, on Leslie Frazier, Sean McDermott, had Tyrod Taylor taking care of that football in year 1. Jordan Poyer, Micah Hyde were there, right? So it's no coincidence the Bills broke the 17-year playoff drought, and it's no coincidence the Bills have made the playoffs 4 out of the 5 years ever since Jordan Poyer and Micah Hyde have been here. And sure enough, as Patrick mentions here, it's been crazy. It's been crazy. Without Jordan Poyer out there, we've not won a game. We've not won a game. So what does the future present us here if we don't have Jordan Poyer? Think about it. What's going to happen next year if we don't have Jordan Poyer? Are we going to win a game? What's going to happen if we don't have Micah Hyde? It's the confidence. It's the confidence in the back end, especially when you had rookies out there, Kaiir Elam and Christian Benford. Guys, when they're looking at the back end and they're trying to communicate to the safeties, what's the confidence level? Talking to Jaquan Johnson or talking to Damar Hamlin. Damar Hamlin is communicating to rookie Christian Benford, Kaiir Elam, and they're like, what do you see? I see this. This is, I need help over the top, but maybe not. But if you have Jordan Poyer, Micah Hyde out there, Christian Benford, Kaiir Elam, even Dane Jackson, even Trey White for that matter, they look back at Jordan Poyer, and Jordan Poyer just gives them that nod of reinsurance, just that like, okay, jump this ball. I got you. Jump this ball. I got you. Stuff like that. Those are so crucial. Those are so crucial. And when you don't have Jordan Poyer back there, you got Kaiir Elam looking at Damar Hamlin, and he's like, should I jump this route? And Damar Hamlin's like, okay, yeah, do it. Maybe. I think, So it's tough. Just that nod of reassurance that Jordan Poyer, Micah Hyde present to the back end of this defense. It's huge. It's huge. And keep in mind, Trey White has been a huge addition for the Buffalo Bills, not only on the field, but practicing on the field. Trey White wasn't even able to practice with our team. Trey White couldn't iron. We say iron sharpens iron. Diggs couldn't practice against Trey White. I mean, Trey White and Diggs iron sharpening iron every single day during practice. Not having that was huge. And now we have that. It's huge for Diggs. It's huge for every wide receiver. And it's huge for Kaiir Elam, Christian Benford, Dane Jackson, to get the eyes on Trey White, to see how he practices, to see how he presses Stephon Diggs at the line of scrimmage, to see how he plays off coverage against Stephon Diggs, to just see it in person. And I think it's hard to determine. Everyone learns differently, whether you're a visual person, right? Or maybe you learn by doing, right? You have to just do things. Everyone learns differently. And the Buffalo Bills and the NFL tries to spend time with each and every single player on their team to figure out how they learn best. And unfortunately, I don't know how Kaiir Elam learns best. I don't know how Christian Benford learns best, but we all kind of share traits with it. Some players learn by watching and then doing, or some learn just by doing and then watching, right? Or just reading and then doing, right? But it's a mixture. It's a mixture of both. And I know Trey White not being out there to help our team hindered our team. This is huge. Says Singletary isn't marketable for real. He's pretty average. Edmonds is special. Milano is getting better too. Milano has to tackle better. Elam is a rising stud. I agree. Elam, DeMar Hamlin, I'm sorry. I mean, tall, physical DBs, skill sets out of the roof. We discussed it at the earlier of this thing. Is coachable deficiencies. Nothing but coachable deficiencies. Have God-given traits and skills. They have everything they need to be the best of the best in the NFL, without a doubt. Singletary, man, Singletary is he's average. He's above average. I'll give him that. Singletary's above average. He doesn't fumble the football. You look at Zach Moss and Singletary. Zach Moss, his rookie year, compared to Devin Singletary, his rookie year, Singletary's done well. He's done halfway decent. He's a solid back. He's not a back that's going to take over the game himself and win you games, but he's a back that's going to keep defenses honest. He's going to do just enough to keep defenses honest. And I think Singletary fits our team because we are more of a high potent passing attack. And when we do hand the ball off to Devin Singletary, he does just enough, literally just enough to keep defenses honest, just enough. But yeah, that could be an upgrade. We could definitely upgrade that in free agency. So the game starts at 1 o'clock today, 1 p.m. in Buffalo. It's going to be noon, 12 o'clock in Chicago. But the game will be starting at 1 p.m. in Western New York in Buffalo. Chicago is 1 hour behind. So 1 p.m. Eastern time, the game will be starting. Ed Oliver has to get better. Everyone is waiting for Ed Oliver to become Pro Bowler. We need him to be. Yes. Ed Oliver has been getting better and better every year. And, obviously we probably expected more from Ed Oliver earlier in his career. He's getting better. He's getting better and better. And his pass rush ability is insane. His ability to take on double teams is absolutely insane too. I think Ed Oliver holds his own in the run. He can hold his own in the run. He can jack guys up. He can take on double teams. And he's an excellent rush blocker, pass rusher. I mean, just watch his hand movements. In the film study that I've done, I've seen swim moves. I've seen him ride an offensive lineman, grabbing on, taking him for a ride, throwing him to the side, making plays. It's tough. It's tough to be the size of Ed Oliver and do what he does, right? We compare him to Aaron Donald. I mean, you see what he does in the NFL. It's tough. It's absolutely tough. And one player I've absolutely seen take huge strides on this defensive line is Greg Rousseau. Groot, man. Have you seen his arms? Have you seen Rousseau's arms? And Von Miller came to Buffalo, had the defensive end camp, right, is making our defensive ends better. Making our rookies from last year, Greg Rousseau, Boogie Basham, Shaq Lawson, making our entire defensive line better. And, Von Miller stating that he wants to be GM and stating that he wanted to shadow Brandon Beane when he comes back to Buffalo. I'm saying let him. Let him do it. Let Von Miller find another diamond in the rough this offseason. Bring him in. Why not draft another defensive end, And Von Miller has an eye for talent. What is Greg Rousseau's skill set? It's his length. It's Greg Rousseau utilizing his length, his reach. And that's what Von Miller said when he came to Buffalo. This training camp, you heard Von Miller talk about Greg Rousseau, and he's like, man, Greg Rousseau, his length, his reach. He's like, I don't even need to teach him anything. He's just got to get good at that. And you hear that with wide receivers. Chad Johnson and Terrell Owens, their number one advice to wide receivers coming into the league is get good at you. You know, there's a reason why you made it to the NFL. Get great at that. Perfect that first. Be the best at that skill set, right? And Greg Rousseau, his long reach, perfect that. Be the most dominant long reach in the NFL. And we see that with Rousseau's arms, man. Rousseau, I feel like, has not been working on anything else other than his reach and his jacking up in his arms. I mean, Rousseau comes off the ball, he'll put his one arm in your chest from freaking 5 feet away, and the offensive linemen are sitting there like trying to grab him. They're like, this arm is, I can't get him. You know, they're doing this, and Rousseau's just boom, boom, see you later. He's jacking them up with his freaking diesel arms. I'm telling you, look at Rousseau's arms, man. He is jacking up offensive linemen. I went to that Jets game in person, and I was watching him. Rousseau made back-to-back plays in that game too, but both times I saw Rousseau with at least one arm right on the offensive lineman, and the separation is insane. It's insane. I swear there's a good 6 inches. Like, offensive linemen's reach, they can't get to Rousseau. They can't get to him, man. He's unbelievable. Unbelievable. And I was really hoping, and it's still, I mean, Rousseau's improving on a game-to-game basis. And just think if we had Von out there too. You know, early in the year, kind of inconsistent, not making as many plays as he really needed to be opposite of Von Miller. But, man, after like 4 games, 5 games, Rousseau has balled out this year. He's been balling out this year. And, man, if Von Miller was out there too, it'd be absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. Guys, comments, questions, concerns. We are balling out here. Merry Christmas, Bills Mafia. I hope everyone has an amazing, blessed Christmas. The amazing, best fans in the world. We're the best fans in the world, Bills Mafia. Focus says Singletary is good for now, but I think Cook will take over in the playoffs. Hey, give me that. Give me some Cook. I like to be cooking with Cook. You know, I'm telling you that 3 wide receiver set, Gabe Davis, Diggs, McKenzie, rotate McKenzie with Cole Beasley, depending on matchups. How do you beat it? And you put the 3 wide receivers on one side of the field, have them run and mix and match and run all different routes. I refuse to believe a defense can stop that. We have all the talent in the world. Josh Allen's ability to read defenses, to read defenders. Man, I mean, they play press. I think with Diggs's release off of the football, with McKenzie's release off of the football, you can beat them. If they play off, Gabe Davis being able to run routes, being able to body guys off. Dawson Knox being able to utilize his speed and his size to body guys out. No matter how you play the Buffalo Bills, we have an answer. We have a freaking answer. Okay? It's freaking dynamic. It's dynamic. The only thing we really haven't seen teams do, but I know the Bills would beat them. We would just run the ball, but it's if they dropped everyone back into coverage. They literally rushed like 3 people every play and dropped everyone back into coverage and spied Josh Allen every play. Just every play, that's what they did. We haven't seen the team do that. Now, the recipe was out to beat the Buffalo Bills earlier this year, but the Bills are starting to find their second wave, their second answer. And Mike Tomlin, before the Steelers game, I hope you guys were following me back then, but Mike Tomlin all week long before we played the Steelers was like, I'm double covering Stephon Diggs. He's like, I'm double covering Stephon Diggs. We didn't know how he was going to double cover him. What he did was he double covered Stephon Diggs with his second and third best cornerbacks, and then took his best defensive back, which happened to be Levi Wallace, and put him on Gabe Davis. When we saw what happened, Gabe Davis roasted Levi Wallace, burned Levi Wallace in that game, early in the game. And sure enough, the Bills, we saw it early in the Steelers. Mike Tomlin showed his card against the Buffalo Bills and was like, hey, look, I'm double covering Diggs. I'm going into the game, so you guys know I'm double covering Diggs, which he did do. We relied on Gabe Davis versus Levi Wallace and roasted Levi Wallace. But Levi Wallace is not one of the best cornerbacks in the game. When we went against other teams who copied that defensive philosophy against the Bills, just like the Minnesota Vikings did it against us, the Miami Dolphins did it against us, right? We had better cornerbacks that were matched up against Gabe Davis. And we couldn't find Gabe Davis as a second threat, second option. We had to rely on Isaiah McKenzie. We had to rely on a rushing attack. We had to find that third option for the Buffalo Bills. Way we went into this year, we said, okay, Stephon Diggs, number one option. Gabe Davis is going to be our number two. But if you double cover Diggs, you take him away. And if your defense is a good enough corner to beat Gabe Davis, your best cornerback on Gabe Davis, what is the Buffalo Bills' third option? We didn't know what that was earlier in the year, and we're starting to figure that out now. We bring in Nyheim Hines. We bring in Cole Beasley, right? We lost Jamison Crowder, so that could have been an answer. But we're starting to figure that out now. And I think Nyheim Hines, James Cook, Devin Singletary, Isaiah McKenzie, Cole Beasley, that is going to be the Buffalo Bills' third option going forward. It's going to be huge. It's absolutely, absolutely huge for the Bills. And so when you really look at it, double covering Diggs, putting your best cornerback on Gabe Davis, third option, right? Third option going to be James Cook, Singletary, Nyheim Hines, Cole Beasley, John Brown, right? All these guys are going to be huge. Says, what are your thoughts on the Bills wide receivers? I'm a little bit let down by Gabe Davis this year. And I know Gabe Davis spent a lot of time this offseason working on his release, especially against press coverage. And that's normally difficult against taller wide receivers. When you get pressed at the line of scrimmage, football's a leverage game. If you have a cornerback that can get under your shoulder pads to get, your shoulder pads come down here and go across your chest. When I was in school or when I played, I would get my thumbs literally right under that chest pad, and I would push that chest pad right in their throat. So I would get under guys and I would literally jack them up, and the chest pad would just walk them backwards, right? So I think as a cornerback, you're looking at their chest, especially in press coverage. As a defensive back, you're looking at that wide receiver's chest, and you're trying to jam them at the line of scrimmage. You're trying to keep them from getting off that line of scrimmage. And you have to move. And that wide receiver's going this way, can go that way and juke. You got to be extra careful. Gabe Davis being taller, going against physical press coverage defensive backs was his struggle, I think. Press coverage defensive backs against Gabe Davis were able to press him at the line of scrimmage. But him working on that this offseason may have taken time away from his other skills, maybe taken time away from him working on running crispier routes, right? Just doing all the other things that he excelled at last year. So we're seeing a little bit of a slump from Gabe Davis, but again, the drops too as well. A lot of drops for these Buffalo Bills wide receivers. But again, I mentioned this at the very beginning of this feed. These are all coachable deficiencies. It's not that Gabe Davis isn't good enough or his ceiling isn't high enough to beat opposing teams' number one cornerbacks. Gabe Davis just needs experience. He has coachable deficiencies. And with experience, with time, going against other teams' best defensive backs, Gabe Davis is getting memorable moments on that football field, and he's getting better on a week-to-week basis. And as the season progresses, as playoffs come around, this is all experience. This is all preparation to get us to the freaking Super Bowl and win this damn thing. To win this damn thing. Focus says offensive linemen look like T-Rex when they go up against Russo. They do. They're sitting there. Russo's got his hand in their chest like this, and the offensive linemen are trying to block him like this. They can't even get to him, man. They can't even get to him. Telling you, Russo's a freak. His arms, man, they look like freaking watermelons. They look like watermelons. They're huge. Look at his last press conference. You're going to look at Russo's arms and be like, what? Are you kidding me? He's been eating some blue cheese and buffalo wings. Get those babies up. Getting those jacked up. He's getting those jacked up. Stonk puppets, says Josh Allen for 400 yards and 3 touchdowns. Eat the sauce, baby. I take that all day. I'll take that all day. Now, knowing that Ken Dorsey had 2 game plans going into last week and Miami Dolphins in preparation for the heavy snow, we assumed the field was going to be covered in snow all game long. We can see here, again, negative 17-degree feel-like temperature. Kind of crazy. I really believe Ken Dorsey's going to have 2 game plans going into this game as well. And we know, like, what is the difference in game plans? That's the point I'm trying to make here. Like, what's the difference in game plans? Clearly, Ken Dorsey had 2 different game plans for last week's game, and probably to potentially run the ball a little bit more, to have different scheme, a different play to see. I mean, again, negative 17-degree feel-like temperature here. Currently 6 degrees in Chicago. Man, it's going to be brutal, absolutely brutal. And a lot of people don't know this, but the humidity has an effect. High humidity actually makes it feel even colder. You know, there's low humidity, less moisture in the air. It doesn't feel as cold. But I'm telling you, it's going to affect the football. It affects the football. The ball's going to get cold. The ball gets extra slippery in the cold too. I swear it freezes. I mean, you grew up in Buffalo playing backyard football. We know you go to catch a pass like this, the ball goes right through your hands and smacks you right in the face. You got a bloody nose. You got to go home to your parents. You got to explain to your parents, I got a bloody nose. I was playing backyard football. And they're like, you're not supposed to play tackle. And you just say, no, it was a ball. It was a ball. It slipped through my hands. The ball was frozen. Focus. Diggs gets a touchdown today along with Beasley and Knox. Let's go. Eat the sauce. I like it a lot. Man, I'm saying we run the ball. I'm saying we run the ball down their throats. Defensively, they don't have anyone, man. There are really no threats on the Bears defense. You really look at the injury report going into this game, and yes, they are missing their left guard, their right guard. Darnell Mooney is out. Chase Claypool is out. St. Brown could very well be out. Huge losses for the Bears, but they're relatively healthy on defense. You know, look at their defense here. I mean, relatively healthy. All the players that they have on their team, I mean, really no threat. And I did mention this at the beginning of the feed as well, too. Chicago Bears are doing better against the pass defensively than the Buffalo Bills this season. Yes, Jordan Poyer has missed a bunch of games. Trey White, Christian Benford, you know what has happened on this defense. So we haven't really had all the players that we've had. But again, Chicago Bears have done better against the pass than the Buffalo Bills statistically this season defensively. Now, against the run, they have given up the 6th most rushing yards this season, whereas the Bills have given up the 6th fewest rushing yards this season. And it really starts in the trenches. We know it's likely going to be a freaking hard-fought battle today in the trenches. You can see here, linebacker, 6'4", 263 for the Bears, right? Mike Pennell, defensive tackle, 6'4", 332 for the Bears. So you're getting a sense at how big and strong these guys, 6'3", 309 for the Bears. And then here, their other defensive lineman, Dominique Robinson, 6'5", 253 for the Bears. So they're decently sized on that defensive line. It's not like they're small by any means, but I think they are slow. They're a little bit slow. And I believe we're going to have some home run hits out of the running game today. Guys like James Cook, right? Devin Singletary could even break a long one off. Although he doesn't have that home run speed, the Bills should be trying to utilize the speed with the rushing attack in this game against the Bears. Chicago Bears are not ready for it, guys. Let's see. We got Anthony in the house here too. It seems like Gabe gained size but lost elusiveness. That's exactly what I was kind of alluding to. I think that's a very solid, great comment there. He did gain size, maybe gain strength, physicality, but did seem to lose a little bit of elusiveness. Maybe because of the time he was spending working on his release, working on press coverage. Maybe he wasn't working on the jugs machine as much. Maybe he wasn't catching the ball as much this offseason, right? And maybe that is why we have so many drops. We lead the NFL in drops. Buffalo Bills, wide receivers, tight ends, running backs, we lead the NFL in drops. Coachable deficiencies, these are coachable things. We can correct that. Drops are easily correctable. It's not like we're not getting open. It's not like we're not tall enough or fast enough. We're just not catching it, which is easily correctable. We could definitely correct it. But yeah, we got to focus on that, especially late in this year. 3rd down efficiency, 4th down efficiency, sustaining drives, giving Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills more opportunities to score, right? Come on now. Keith and Suzanne. I hope you guys are doing great. I hope you guys have an excellent holiday and Christmas here. Mackenzie was the star of the last below zero game. Will he do it again? He very well could. He very well could. And that's what I'm saying. Speed. Utilize that speed. And I think the field, as long as it's not slippery, it's not like there's a lot of precipitation out there. It seems like it's going to be a dry field, although frozen and hard. But speed today is going to be the Chicago Bears kryptonite for the Buffalo Bills. I think the release and the speed for the Bills, we should definitely be able to dominate them. Now, I just want to get back right into their roster, take a little further look at their linebackers, everyone else for this team. And we could see here Matthew Adams, Joe Thomas, and Nicholas Morrow. I just want to see these guys when comparing them to the stats here. So you guys can see, I just want to pull this up for you really quick. 1 second. We're going to get their ratings here just so you guys get a good, clear idea of what we're matched up here. And we saw that their defensive line was already slow. Let's take a look at their linebackers, right? Matthew Adams, their will linebacker. Obviously, they're going to be a nickel majority of the time. Joe Thomas, but just to show you guys here. Defensive line is a little bit slow. And then Nicholas Morrow should give us a great idea of their agility, their acceleration, everything they got going on here. So Buffalo Bills versus Chicago Bears. You guys could see, I'm going to try and hop out of the way so you guys could clearly, I'm kind of blocking the view. Show you here. Okay, so their defensive line is slow, but check out their linebackers. Matthew Adams, Joe Thomas, Nicholas Morrow. They're fast, right? 85 overall speed, 81 overall speed, and 86 overall speed. Acceleration, 87, 87, 83. Agility is halfway decent for linebackers too. We know these guys are 230, 240 pounds, pretty agile. But what is the most important thing in the NFL? Their awareness, something that we got on Tremaine Edmonds about, right? Their awareness, 72, 68, 79, right? How are they going to be able to cover our Dawson Knox, right? How are they going to be able to read and react to the ball carrier? And fortunately, they actually have ball carrier vision. They have all these things on here. So you guys could see here, I mean, the pursuit to the football. Let's see, I just want to show you guys. Pursuit, 78, 82, and 82, right? There's zone coverage, mid coverage, press coverage for these linebackers. We could see 73, 68, 80, zone coverage, 58, 67, 65. Very interesting. Very, very interesting. When looking at their run blocking, their running defense, again, the 6th worst in the NFL. They have given up the 6th most rushing yards in the NFL this season. The Chicago Bears have given up. So the Bills definitely have a huge advantage here running the football. Yes, their linebackers are fast, but you have to have awareness. You have to have awareness. And I think the fastness helps you with the blitz. It helps you in coverage, but diagnosing the run, ball carrier vision, pursuing to the football, reading, reacting to pulling offensive linemen, it is tough. It's tough for a linebacker. And, you know, the speed is negated by their lack of awareness and lack of just overall, you know, ability, understanding the game. So I really think James Cook, Devin Singletary, Nyheim Hines, and speed in this game is going to be absolutely crucial for the Buffalo Bills to ball out of control, And looking at the coverages here, you know, what are the Chicago Bears going to do? Are they going to double cover? Are they going to double cover Stephon Diggs like we have seen this season and then put their best cornerback on Gabe Davis? Well, we got to find out here. We got to find out who the best cornerback for the Chicago Bears is, right? So let's just dive right into it. We got to take a look at Kyler Gordon, Jalen Jones. Who's going to be matched up here on Gabe Davis, on Stephon Diggs? Got to break it down, guys. Let's break this thing down. Let's see what we got. Check out their speed ratings, their overall heights as well. We'll get into. First here, we got Jalen Jones. Jalen Jones for the Chicago Bears. Starting corner, you can see, is only 68 overall. And then obviously Kyler Gordon, a little bit higher of a draft pick. We could see here. Kyler Gordon for the Chicago Bears was a second-round pick, 39th overall this season in 2022. He's a rookie. He's 6 foot, 200 pounds. And then when you take a look at the other cornerback for the Chicago Bears is Jalen Jones. Jalen Jones, undrafted. Not a lot of stats for Jalen Jones. Just actually not showing up his height here. I just want to see here. Jalen Jones, Bears. Jalen Jones is, we're about to get the height here, is 5'11", 190 pounds. 5'11", 190 pounds. Jalen Jones versus Kyler Gordon. It looks like Kyler Gordon is clearly the better cornerback here, I would say. Rookie, right? And look at their speeds, right? Kyler Gordon, 6 foot. Jalen Jones, 5'11". Different, a little bit different. So the Bills should ball out here. I mean, just take a look at the matchups and just see how good Stephon Diggs is, right? 96 overall compared to 72 to 78. You can even see Gabe Davis, right? 83, 72, 68. Kind of interesting to see. So what do these corners excel at? Are they good at press? Are they good at zone? Are they good at man? We could find out right now. Scroll right down here and we could see. Pursuit to the football, 74 and 75. Play recognition, right? Or press coverage, I'm sorry. Press coverage. Look how poor their press coverage is, right? 61 and 71. Their press coverage is horrible. Is absolutely horrible, right? We could see last week, Xavier Howard, just to give you an idea of what Stephon Diggs had to go against last week here. This is crazy. Just to give you a comparison. I think comparisons are always crucial. Where'd it go? Press coverage. Press coverage, okay? Jalen Jones, 61. Kyler Gordon, 71. Xavier Howard, 89. Okay? 89. So this is the level of cornerbacks that we've had to play this year, that we've had to deal with this year. And that just goes to show you the level of cornerbacks that they are at. And the other point I want to mention here is, yes, Chicago Bears are doing better against the pass statistically this season defensively. Bills are 18th in the NFL, whereas the Bears have given up the 15th fewest passing yards this season. But is it because Chicago has the number one rushing attack? And is it because Chicago tries to just drain the clock and really not win the game offensively, right? So you really think about it. Okay, they're doing better against the pass, but how many passing attempts has opposing teams really attempted against the Bears because they're running it so much? The number one rushing attack in the NFL. Justin Fields, the 8th best leading rusher in the NFL at the quarterback position, opening up things for their rushing attack, and David Montgomery and Khalil Herbert, right? All these guys. It's very, very interesting to see. Guys, comments, questions, concerns. Focus says hit that like button for BNC. Always has great videos. Appreciate that, Focus. Yes. Yeah, guys, hitting that like button would really, really support my small business here. Really goes a long way. It really, truly does. Subscribing would be great. Would be awesome if you guys join me for future videos, doing long form, short form, going live. Probably going to go live during the game as well. Sony DeCuse says, what does everyone think about the Nick Wrong right? He is just, there's people in the national media, I think we have to understand, that are just there to rile up a storm, to get attention, to get the views, to stir up some commotion. They know Bills Mafia is going to see it, and we're going to go over to ESPN. We're going to go over to Nick Wright and talk our smack and comments and
dislike, everything just helps their algorithm. It just helps blow up Nick Wright and ESPN even more. So, I think they say things just to say things versus whether they actually think it's right or not. And unfortunately, that's kind of where the world is at right now. People say things just to say things, to stir up a story, even though it's factually not right. Like people saying that, Josh Allen is trash. How many people do you hear say Josh Allen is trash or Josh Allen isn't the best quarterback in the NFL? I mean, do you have freaking eyes? Do you have eyes? Do you understand what football is? Josh Allen, his running ability, his passing ability, his ability to sustain the hits. I mean, it's clear as day. It's clear as day. If you don't get it, it's crazy. I mean, when you got to take everything into account, not just the throwing. Okay, you could say, yes, there are better pure pocket passers in the NFL than Josh Allen. I would say that Patrick Mahomes has a more talented passing arm than Josh Allen. But can Josh Allen could Patrick Mahomes hurdle people? Can Patrick Mahomes stiff arm a freaking linebacker to the ground? Can Patrick Mahomes escape the pocket, shedding 5 tackles? Can Patrick Mahomes escape Aaron Donald of the Rams? Right? Could he hurdle Anthony Barr of the Vikings? I mean, no, he can't do that. He can't do that. And if he did, could he sustain it? And that is no. There is no way he could sustain it. Josh Allen is his own breed. Josh Allen is his own freaking breed. He's the best quarterback in the NFL. Nick Wright is definitely Nick wrong. He just says things to stir up the pot and get attention. Man, it's just, if only someone could make a living stating the facts, stating the truths, and that's hopefully what I could do here at BNC. Only facts, only stats, only truth, stir up the pot. It's not me. Let's go. Keith and Suzanne says it looks like Chicago will earn its nickname today with the Windy City. They are definitely going to be earning that. That's for sure. Man, 20-mile-an-hour winds, -17 feel like temp. Woo-wee. Focus says no comment on Nick. I'll get kicked off YouTube. I know it. Tell me about it. That was G-rated for y'all. Nick says has never played football, only flag football in elementary. Hey, I did play football, but I get it. You don't even need to necessarily play football. You can understand the game quite a bit, and I think playing that gives you a certain level of understanding. Even today, I was talking with my mom, and she was like, "Oh, how are they going to play today in the cold? And oh my gosh, how windy and all these things." And some things people don't understand. Yeah, it is extra painful. A helmet nicking your finger? I can't tell you how many times that happens during a game. You're like, oh my God, or whatever it is. You clang it during a game or it gets pinched. It hurts. Everything hurts so much more. I never played in -17-degree temps. We did play in a freezing cold game. I don't know what it was. It was probably 20 degrees outside, and it hurt so bad. It hurt so bad. And sure enough, you would just line up again, and the pain would go away. But it was so painful. It was so painful. It was so brutal. It was so brutal. So it's going to be crazy. It's going to be absolutely crazy to see how this all unfolds today. And obviously, we didn't have bench warmers. We didn't have our helmets being steam warmed on the sidelines. Technology nowadays that they have on the sidelines is absolutely unreal. They blow the heat on the players and stuff. So, but it's still tough. It's still definitely tough. Sony says, I'm looking forward to the Bills versus Bengals game next week. It's going to be freaking huge. This game is going to be huge. I'm actually thinking about going to it, thinking about driving there and going to the game. It's going to be that big. Primetime game, baby. Primetime game for Bills Mafia. First time we've played Joe Burrow. I mean, first time playing Joe Burrow. This is going to potentially set the tone for years to come. And that's what's so important about these games. You set the tone. So AFC East games, Josh Allen always seems to do well against Miami Dolphins, right? Not this past time because of the heat, but you set trends. And as players, you set trends. Like every time I went to Lancaster and played, every time I went to Jamestown and played, for whatever reason, I had great games. And, those were during my time, those were the two best teams
or in the area, right? And everyone feared them. I remember kids being like, "Oh my God," like certain kids were sincerely scared. And I was ready to go. I was like, give me the ball. I would tell the coaches all week long, I'd be like, this is my game. I'm like, I always play well against these teams. Give me the ball. Give me the ball. And sure enough, I'd get the ball and I would ball out. I don't know why. I still, to this day, I don't know why. Maybe it was a color red. I could see the color red really good or something on the field. I don't know. I still don't get it to this day, but it happens. Certain players, certain teams do great against other teams. Like the Patriots and Tom Brady dominated us. Tom Brady just killed the Bills year after year with the Patriots. I mean, it was just like, and can you think after 20 years, Tom Brady coming to Buffalo, he was probably like, hell yeah, this is sweet. I always do good here. It's like that extra confidence going into a game, and going against Joe Burrow for the first time. If the Bills lose and we meet them again in the playoffs, I think it gives the Bengals that extra confidence that they can win. But if the Buffalo Bills come out, we go to Cincinnati, we beat them in Cincinnati, and we have home field advantage in the playoffs, I mean, how confident do you think the Cincinnati Bengals are going to be coming to Buffalo after they already lost during the regular season? And I think that's why the Bengals beat the Chiefs, because they beat the Chiefs last year during the regular season. They believed that they could go out and beat the Chiefs again in the playoffs. Sure enough, it was in Kansas City. So, but still, it's about setting trends for the future. Joe Burrow's going to be in Cincinnati for a long time. Josh Allen's going to be in Buffalo for a long time. I'm sure we're going to be seeing this matchup for years and years to come. Could be AFC championship games, could be playoff games. It's about setting that tone. I want Josh Allen to be undefeated against the Bengals. Every time we played the Bengals, I want Josh Allen to be 1-0, 2-0, 3-0, 4-0, right? Again, Joe Burrow versus Josh Allen. Come on, baby. Let's go. I can't wait for that one, too. Today's game is huge, though, as well. Justin Fields, we cannot take this game lightly. Justin Fields, his running ability is a threat, and he's doing things himself. He's creative. He does things that Josh Allen does. Running to the sidelines, maybe does a fake punt, catches the defender jumping, and then runs around him, right? He's creative. He's ultimately creative. He is the number 2 backyard football player in the NFL right now, I think, to Josh Allen. If Lamar Jackson was healthy this year, he'd probably be 1, 2. But since he's hurt and really hasn't had the greatest season this year, I think right now Josh Allen has been number 1 in backyard football when it comes to passing and running. Justin Fields is number 2. Lamar Jackson, number 3. I could say Jalen Hurst, Patrick Mahomes would probably be 4th. So going to be crazy. Eric Leno says Jordan Phillips and Ed Oliver are active. We got some reports coming in for the game here. Buffalo Bills versus Chicago Bears. We're going to be getting into it here. Let's get right into Twitter, get into some actives. Hopefully Chris Brown, Buffalo Bills insider, can give us some insight to this game. Let's see what we got. We'll switch it back up to Twitter. Got some news coming out, looks like. Eric Leno, appreciate the tweet, my man. See what we got. Any updates on Twitter for this game? We got 210 more tweets. This is the war zone going on in Buffalo. Looks like John Scott says Dawson Knox is going to be rocking the sleeves. Looks like the pregame temperature currently 7 degrees, negative 14 degree wind chill. Absolutely nuts. Absolutely nuts. Let's go to Chris Brown specifically. We got a lot of trash. Oh, here's the woo-wee. Here's the storm. Here's the storm. You guys see Chicago. So it doesn't look like a lot of precipitation. We're out of precipitation. It's just freezing. It's just freezing. Here's a picture of the field. John Murphy, he's there walking on that field. Field looks like it's in good shape. Let that sun melt it. That's playable field, folks. That's a playable field. Bills Mafia, we're going to dominate. We're going to dominate today. Let's go. All right, let's see Chris Brown. He hopefully has the inactive list. Here we go. Presenting to you. We got Chase Claypool officially out. St. Brown officially out. Jenkins, their left and right guard, Oh, just Jenkins is out. So it does seem like the Chicago Bears has their starting right guard. Hang on, we're gonna get a closer look into this. Let's see. So Cody Whitehair. Hang on. Cody Whitehair is out. Cody Whitehair is out. So their left guard and right guard are officially out. That is huge. That's huge for the Bills, along with St. Brown being out and Chase Claypool. Man, the Chicago Bears don't have a lot going on here. Looks like the Buffalo Bills, Chris Brown just released it here. Both defensive tackles, Ed Oliver and Jordan Phillips, are both active today. Ike Bacher is active today, coming off IR. That is huge for the Bills. I don't know if he's going to be starting for Ryan Bates. What is going to happen here for the Bills? Rhodes, Dean Marlowe, Spector, Boogie Basham, Mitch Morris, Justin Murray, and Tommy Sweeney. Kind of crazy. So we got some inactives. It does look like Rhodes, Marlowe, Spector, Basham, Morris, our starting center, is going to be out. We could very well see Quessenberry starting, or Van Roten starting at center. I believe that's what the Bills have been doing. We've been putting in Van Roten at center. See what happens at right guard today, guys. That's going to be interesting. I really think the concern has been Spencer Brown at right tackle, to be honest. I think Spencer Brown, we thought, was a better pass blocker. And I think he is a better pass blocker than Quessenberry. But how much are we losing in the run blocking department? Because it's clear to me that Quessenberry is a better run blocker than Spencer Brown. So it's like, what are we making up in pass blocking with Spencer Brown starting out there? And what are we losing versus like, what are we gaining in Quessenberry's run blocking? And what are we losing with his pass blocking being out there? And then you have to compare that to like, what do the Buffalo Bills actually do best? Like, we're definitely passing the ball more than running it. So I think that's where the value comes in with Spencer Brown. And that's where the Bills feel comfortable starting Spencer Brown right now, because we are pass blocking it more. And Spencer Brown clearly has a slight edge with his length and reach at pass blocking. So, if we were going to have to come out and run the ball, which might very well be the case today, it's clear 20-mile-an-hour winds, negative 70-degree temps. Does Ken Dorsey change things up? Does he work alongside with Aaron Cromer, offensive line coach, and look, we had 2 game plans going into last week's game against Miami. It does look like we had 2 game plans going into this game. It looks like we're going to have to roll with option 2 because of the wind, because of the cold. Maybe Aaron Cromer and Ken Dorsey was part of that game plan, trying to scheme things up with this rushing attack. Got to see, especially with Mitch Morris being out. Mitch Morris directing that offensive line, really helping out in pass blocking for Josh Allen. We don't want to put Josh Allen in harm's way. We shall see. We need Mitch. We definitely need Mitch. But that concussion, his career has been riddled with concussions, and the concern of having long-term issues of concussions, bringing Mitch Morris back too soon just doesn't make sense. We're in the playoffs. We know we're going to be here for the playoffs. As much as it would be to have him for this game, it's not that crucial. And experience, man, who knows? Mitch Morris could go down during the playoffs, could go down in the middle of the Super Bowl. And, our backup center, Van Roten, maybe Ike starts there, Bates starts there. I mean, who knows? They're all capable of playing that position. It's going to be huge. It's going to be absolutely huge, Bills Mafia. We balling out of control here. Comments, questions, concerns, get them in the chat. Looks to be like this hotspot for my phone is working. I did not have high hopes for that, but it does seem to be working. It does seem like I could potentially go live during the game. So we're absolutely balling out. The Buffalo Bills game is going to be starting today at 1 p.m. Let's see if we have any more updates on Twitter. See if we have any highlights, any more news coming out in the Twitter feed. Make sure you guys follow me on Twitter. We're on Instagram. We're also on TikTok, on Facebook. We're on every single one. Bills Mafia is dealing with some craziness. Uh-oh. The Golf Dome. No way. Oh my gosh. The local Golf Dome in Buffalo blew over. That's sketchy. Super sketchy. Here's another picture of the field. Doing it, baby. Got a frozen buffalo. Balling out. Look at these pictures. Absolutely crazy. I want to go to the Chicago Bears Twitter, actually see if they have any news. I know sometimes they have a lot of updates here. Got Khalil Herbert coming out, walking out on that stadium. They seem ready to go for that cold. Buffalo Bills got to stop David Montgomery. They got to stop Justin Fields. Here he is, Justin Fields. Buffalo Bills, 8th leading rusher in the NFL right now. 1,000 on the dot rushing yards. Absolutely crazy. Got a lot of it. Oh, they got the Christmas theme. Chicago's rocking that Christmas theme. Some pictures here. Going crazy. Going crazy. Man, 12 degrees, 40 mile an hour. Oh, my God. Absolutely nuts, guys. Absolutely nuts. Balling out during this Q&A. Buffalo Bills versus the Chicago Bears. A perfect staple game for the Bills. Take care of the Bears. You know, everyone's saying, oh, we can't win in these crazy weather situations. The Bills are definitely going to ball out. Kimberly, thank you for joining me. You guys are all awesome. I'm going to be doing the live play-by-play during the game. So I just wanted to go live during this, discuss the game. I'm going to go live on Instagram really quick too. Got to give some love to the other platforms, but expect me back during the game. I'm going to do the live play-by-play. We're going to watch this thing. We're going to ball out, Bills Mafia. Eat the sauce. Let's get the W. Let's prove to the NFL world that we can win in these weather situations, that we can run the ball, that we can beat the Bears, no matter if they have the number 1 rushing attack in the NFL. We're going to ball out of control, Bills Mafia. Get hyped up. Let's go. Let's go. I will check you guys during the game. Peace out, everyone. Also, check the link in the description. We wish it were colder. We got the merch there. Free shipping to all U.S. customers. Check you guys soon. Peace out. Go Bills.